Our transition has obviously, it's really gone very smooth, and of course we're excited about the team, and I think we look forward for the agency moving forward with things. Now, my main goal as auditor obviously will be the same as when I campaigned and the office last year, which is basically threefold. First, our agency obviously will continue and will scrutinize the majority of taxpayers' dollars spent by state government. And based on, of course tonight we're going to have an opportunity to hear Governor Matt Bevin, and based on what he's said a little bit publicly, we're going to know that the next Kentucky's biennium budget's probably going to be pretty tight. So it's going to be important that our Commonwealth obviously is going to face some cutbacks, and that means every dollar that is spent, it's going to be crucial that for the services and programs that manage the state government. So that's why it's important that our agencies give great scrutiny to the money being spent and identify how the state, county, and local agencies can better utilize those tax dollars. Now, of course, in addition, I want to put Kentucky first. Oftentimes in Frankfort, we can get caught up, with special interest groups and partisan politics. Now, although I was elected as a Republican, obviously it's a partisan race, I view the role as the auditor as the role as an independent watchdog. And of course, that means we will focus on being the agency that puts the people of Kentucky first. Third, I want to bring a more conservative philosophy as we seek to make state government run more efficiently with what dollars will still be available. For 13 years I brought that philosophy to the House of Representatives as a state representative, and it's basically who I am, and as an auditor obviously we want to continue that in the auditor's office to carry forward as we seek to make our state and local agencies help them manage tax dollars better and make sure that they can run responsible and with the highest code of ethics. Now, that being said, we're going to move forward on several things in 2016, and several of the audits I'm going to kind of list and go through here in some of the examinations in key areas. First of all, many of you have heard about the U of L Foundation. It was kind of audit. It was kind of interesting. Even before I was elected, after I was elected, and even before I was sworn in, and the day that I was sworn in, we were already getting calls, are you going to continue the U of L Foundation audit? And so we, obviously my predecessor initialized that process late last year, and then of course after reviewing the information and speaking with some of our people, we decided that we did want to move forward with that. And we're going to move forward with a governance review examination of U of L Foundation and of course its relationship with the university. Now, the chairman of the foundation, the Board of Trustees, Dr. Bob Hughes, I was pleased that he also wrote to us asking that we continue the examination. It kind of makes it a little less confrontational if you've got willing people coming in to let you come in and interview them. And the goal is to explore the best practices of the organizations like the foundation and its relationship to our public system. Now, as for the scope of the audit, obviously we're going to meet with the foundation, have the audit staff go in and see where the data leads us, or of course the term we kind of coined there in the auditor's office, #follow the data. So we're just going to follow the data wherever it leads us. That's been my goal from day one. Now, another engagement we anticipate starting this year is a review of the Kentucky Law Enforcement Program Fund, or what most people know as CLEP. Now, I'll tell you, I was a little surprised, and many of us were very surprised, that in the 40 years of its history, it has never had an individual been audited individually. And we were surprised when Representative Butler, Denny Butler, who's a retired detective from the Louisville Metro Police Department, approached me about his concerns with CLEP's finances and that they have never been reviewed by the state auditor. So Representative Butler and I have had several meetings, discussed CLEP, and we anticipate making a formal announcement later this year. Now, another area we plan to review impacts hundreds of thousands of Kentuckians, and of course millions if you include our taxpayers. And of course, obviously I'm speaking about the pension systems for our state employees and for our teachers. Our plans are to conduct a performance audit of the 7 retirement systems of the Kentucky Retirement System and the Kentucky Teacher Retirement System. Now, specifically, we want to look at the areas of investment, including but not limited to fees being paid to placement agents by KRS. Now, of course, KTRS doesn't use placement agents, but our concern for them and KRS is how they are spending money on administrative matters. Now, many of you have heard through the press about how KRS gave its executive director, Bill Thielen, a 25% pay raise while the system remains one of the worst funded and run in the country. Now, I have in the past publicly called for, along with several members of the House and Senate, for Mr. Thielen to step down, or at a minimum, I suggest that he does not accept or give up that 25% pay raise. We personally found it to be a slap in the face to our state workers, teachers, and retirees who have received little or no raises in the last few years. Unfortunately, those calls were ignored by him and by members of the KRS board. Now, we have hundreds of thousands of Kentuckians, both retired and still working, who depend on and expect KRS and KTRS to honor the promise made to them with the retirement benefits they have worked so hard for. Now, there's been a lack of transparency for far too long at both retirement agencies, a fact recognized by Governor Matt Bevin, by the legislative leaders like Senator Jimmy Higdon, Joe Bowen, and House Republican floor leader Jeff Hoover. Like the audit of CLEP, we expect a formal announcement regarding the performance audit of KRS and KTRS will be made in the near future. Now, obviously, those are just a few of the goals and objectives for our agency in 2016. Again, I want to thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to come and speak to you. I'm certainly open to any questions, and thank you, and God bless.